Hey guys, it's Alexandra from iloveknots.com. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make my through the window cosmetic bag or crochet hook pouch. This is a very versatile bag here. I don't wear makeup, so I use mine to carry around my notions, my crochet hooks, but it is great for makeup. It's great for travel size shampoos, conditioners. It makes a great gift. This bag here is about 9 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall. I do not cut my fabric for the lining. I use these canvas bags that I get at Hobby Lobby. These are 9 inches wide by 6 inches tall. They come with a zipper. I just put these inside my cosmetic bag and I zip them up. I don't even sew them in unless I'm going to give them as gifts, because it's snug and it really holds it in well. But it's the perfect lining here and it's easy to clean. For this bag I'm using WeCrochet Dishie Yarn, which is worsted weight 100% cotton. I like 100% cotton for these cosmetic bags that are going to be in and out of bigger tote bags, or otherwise just going to see a lot more wear and tear. It's a durable yarn and it machine washes and dries well. A similar yarn to this is going to be Lily Sugar and Cream or Bernat Handicrafter. Lion Brand has one called Re-Up, and Premier Yarns has one, I forget what it's called, but it's got some polyester in it, which also adds to the durability. If you prefer yarn like Red Heart Super Saver, you can do that too. I'm using an H8 5mm crochet hook. Gauge is essential if you're using a bag to line it that is the same size as this one. You need to meet gauge so that everything will fit correctly. If you're going to cut your own fabric and sew it into your bag, then gauge isn't that essential. As I mentioned, I do not actually sew my lining in, but I have made them as gifts and I've sewn them in, so if you want to do that, you'll just need sewing needle and thread. This Through the Window series on my blog features a mosaic stitch pattern. I've named it that because to me it looks like we're looking through the window panes. This is an easy stitch pattern. It looks more complicated than it is. It's just built on single crochets, chains that are underneath here, and then double crochets. And I will show you how to do those in this tutorial, so don't worry. I've used two solid colors here, but if you have a variegated yarn, this stitch pattern is perfect for variegated yarns. You do your coordinating color here as the main color, and then you do your variegated yarn as the second color. It is, in my opinion, the best way to use a variegated yarn. Sometimes they're really tough to work in a stitch pattern, but this is my favorite for it. I went with these colors because I wanted something that was more fall-like. Inside, you're going to be carrying up your yarn. I will show you how to do this, but when you change yarn colors, you're going to do it all in the seam. It's going to create this float because you're pulling it up, but this is from the inside of the bag that no one is going to see. From the outside of the bag, it is seamless. And because of this carry, we're only going to have 2 ends to weave in when we start and 2 ends to weave in when we finish. And that, in my book, is a big bonus. You're going to find the written pattern for this at iloveknots.com. I will link that in the description below. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with a slip knot. I've pulled the working yarn over my fingers. I'm going to wrap it around my index finger 2 times. Hold the tension with my thumb and my middle finger. Pull the loop on the left up over the other loop but not off my finger. Pull the loop on the left now up over the other one and off my finger. Then I'll take my crochet hook and insert it into the loop on my finger, holding the working yarn in my right hand, and I'm going to pull on the short tail end to tighten this loop up to normal tension. We're going to start with a chain 34. To chain, we yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. Yarn over, pull through the loop on our hook. That's 3. I'm going to go ahead and continue until I have 34. There's 34 chains. I'm going to half double crochet into the second chain from the hook. We don't count the loop that's on our hook, so we're skipping this first stitch and then going to work 2 half double crochets into this second. To half double crochet, we yarn over, insert our hook directly into the center of the chain, yarn over, pull through. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Let's work another together, yarn over, insert your hook into the center of the chain, yarn over, pull through, 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. Then we'll continue working a half double crochet into each of the next 31 chains. There's 31 half double crochets. We're left with 1 chain, and in that chain we're going to work 3 half double crochets. These 3 half double crochets are going to be our rounded edge on this side. I'm going to just pull on that short tail end that is from that original slip knot. You can see that hole is because it's not secured yet, so I'm just going to hold the fabric in my right hand and pull on the tail end with my left hand, and it'll tighten that closed. I'm going to crochet 1 stitch over this tail end, so I'm going to hold it up against my work, and I want to rotate my fabric so I can work on the opposite side of that foundation chain. We're going to work a half double crochet into each of the next 31 stitches, working all the way across. So I'm going to yarn over as normal, insert right into the center of the chain, and when I do that, I'm going to have the tail end over my crochet hook, so when I work my next stitch it will capture that tail. I'm going to tug on it just once more, and then I'm going to drop it. I'm not going to work over it anymore, I'm going to weave it in shortly. And I'm going to continue working, inserting my hook right into the center of each chain. It looks very similar to how it did initially. We're just working on the other side of that foundation chain. There's 31 half double crochets. I'm going to work 1 more half double crochet into that very first stitch where we initially worked our first 2 half double crochets, and that's going to complete this second end here. Then I'll slip stitch join to the very first stitch. I'm going to insert my hook under both loops of that first stitch, yarn over, pull through that stitch and the loop that's on my hook. That is a slip stitch join. And now we have this oval as our foundation for the bottom of our bag. And now we're just going to build in the round, working around this oval. For round 2, I'm going to chain 1 and turn. And I'm just going to half double crochet into each stitch all the way around, starting with this very first stitch here and continuing on until we are all the way around. You'll have 68 half double crochets. Now that I've made it all the way around, I'm going to go ahead and slip stitch join to the first half double crochet, insert my hook into that stitch, picking up both loops, yarn over, pull through that stitch and the stitch on my hook. Now I'm going to turn my work. For round 3, we're going to introduce our coordinating color. This is our main color, so I'm just going to set this down for a moment. My coordinating color is going to be this purple. I'm going to form a loop, leaving a tail end long enough that I can comfortably weave in. Then I'm going to put that loop right onto my hook, pull it through the loop that's on there. Then I'm going to take that cream color from my main color, I'm going to take that tail end and I'm just going to pull it until this loop disappears. Now that's not the traditional way to change colors, but I like to do it this way sometimes because I think it's a very seamless color change, and when I'm working here in the round I want it to be as seamless as possible. I'm going to go ahead and drop that tail for now, and I'm dropping the tail of the purple. I'm dropping those to the back, which is going to be the inside. And I'm going to chain 1. And that loop might come back out because it's not secured yet, so I'm just going to pull it back down. I'm going to start round 3 by working a single crochet into this next stitch. I'm going to insert my hook right into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, have 2 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Then I'll take this purple tail end that I had dropped, and I'm just going to tighten it a little bit. I want this to be normal and not too loose. Then we'll chain 3, skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet into the next stitch, and into the stitch after that. Single crochet into the next stitch, insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through. There are 2 loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through both loops. Single crochet into the next stitch as well. We'll work one more together. Insert your hook into that stitch, yarn over, pull through, 2 loops, yarn over, pull through both loops. This begins the repeat. It's single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches there we just completed. Chain 3, skip the next 2 stitches. Then the repeat again begins, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, chain 3, skip the next 2 stitches, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches, chain 3, skip the next 2 stitches, and we're going to continue working all the way around until we get back to the beginning. Here we're near the end. I've just worked a single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches and I've chained 3. I'm going to skip the next 2 stitches and then I have just one more stitch left, and I'm just going to work 1 single crochet into that last stitch. That is going to complete the repeat from the very beginning. I started with just 1 single crochet. This one completes that, so it's 2. We want to make sure that the main color stays on the inside. All the color changes stay on the inside. So before I join, I'm going to move this main color over to the back side with the rest of the tails. And then I'm going to slip stitch join to the first single crochet of the round. And that completes round 3. This bag is a 4 round repeat. It's going to be rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6. So this round that we just finished is the first repeat of the round. Round 4 is going to be chain 1 and turn. Single crochet into the very first single crochet there. So it's not directly below you, but it's the next single crochet that's available to you. And chain 3. Single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets. Chain 3. Single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets, and this repeat continues all the way around, just single crocheting into the previous single crochets, and your chain is right on top of the previous round's chain. Now I'm back to the beginning. I'm going to work my last chain 3. And then I'll single crochet into that last single crochet of the round. Slip stitch join to the first stitch. And I'm going to turn. It's going to be 2 rounds in this coordinating color, and then 2 rounds in the main color. So now we're going to switch back to our main color. We're going to work the last 2 rounds of the 4 round repeat. So these are the first 2 rounds, and then there's 2 more. And I'm going to show you again how I do this so that my color change remains seamless. I'm going to carry the yarn up right here on the inside, but you're not even really going to notice it that much. Small float. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm holding the tension here on my hook with my right hand. I'll drop the purple, and I want to pull up the main color. I'm just going to naturally pull it up. I don't want it to be too tight or too loose. I just want to naturally grab it on my hook and pull it through the purple loop. Then pull the purple tail so that that loop disappears. Then I'm going to tighten this main color up, chain 1, and I'm ready to begin my round. I'm going to change my colors like that every single time. After a few rounds, I'll show you what the inside looks like where I'm pulling my yarn up. For this next round, round 5, we're going to single crochet into the very first single crochet of the round. And then we're going to work a double crochet into this stitch 2 rounds down. I'm going to pull this out really quick. This empty stitch that we skipped 2 rounds below. Since I'm working a double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and yarn over. I want to push these chains that are above it out of my way. So I'm going to push those back with my middle finger here and pull those stitches below out so I can access them really easily. Then I'm going to insert my hook into that first stitch, picking up both loops from it, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. There are 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. I'm going to work a double crochet into the next stitch, so I'll yarn over, insert my hook right into that stitch, picking up both loops, yarn over, pull through. There are 3 loops on my hook, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, yarn over, pull through 2 loops. And here you'll notice that the double crochets I just worked are in the front and the chains are in the back. So the double crochets are going to fall on top of those chains. We didn't work anything into the chains, we just pushed them back out of the way and we worked into those stitches from 2 rounds down that were skipped. Now I'm going to work a single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets from the previous round. And these single crochets are going to secure those double crochets, so now the fabric is even. And those double crochets are laying right on top of those chains. But from the right side you barely even see any difference. You just see the double crochets on top. So we're going to do that again. Here we're going to push those chains to the back and pull the empty stitches 2 rounds down forward, yarn over, insert right into the first empty stitch and complete a double crochet. Same thing into the next stitch there. So my chains in the back and my double crochets are right on top, 2 different layers there. Single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets. And those single crochets secure this fabric together. We'll just continue working in the same exact manner all the way around, working your double crochets only into those empty stitches from 2 rounds down, leaving the chains on the back side, and then single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets. And now that I'm back to the beginning, I've just worked my last 2 double crochets here. I have 1 single crochet available. I'm going to work a single crochet in that stitch. I'm pushing my second color here to the inside, and then I'm going to slip stitch join to the first single crochet of the round. And now you can see that purple just popping through that lighter color on top. I just love the window it creates. Round 4 is going to be chain 1, turn, single crochet into each stitch all the way around. Very simple. That's my last single crochet of the round. I'm going to slip stitch join to the first single crochet, and then I'm turning. And this completes the 4th round of our repeat. This first round of the second color, that is the first round of our repeat. That's round 3. The second round of our second color is round 4. And then the round where we added the double crochets, that's round 5. And the round of single crochet is round 6. We're going to keep repeating those 4 rounds over and over again, rounds 3, 4, 5, and 6. I will go over them one more time, and then after that I'll be working off camera. So this is round 3 again. I'm going to drop my main color and pick up my purple. I'm still holding on to my main color with my middle finger and my thumb. Pull the purple through the loop on my hook. Pull the main color loop down so it disappears. And then I'm ready to start with my purple color. Chain 1. Single crochet into the next single crochet, which is right in line with the purple stitches from the 2 rows down. Chain 3. Skip the next 2 single crochets, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 3. Skip the next 2 single crochets, single crochet into each of the next 2 stitches. Chain 3. Continue all the way around. Skipping my last 2 single crochets here, working a single crochet into the very last stitch of the round. Then I'll pull my main color inside so that when I slip stitch it's in the middle, and slip stitch join. Round 4, chain 1, turn, single crochet into the first single crochet, chain 3, single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets, chain 3, single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets, and continue all the way around. Here's my last chain 3, single crochet into the very last stitch of the round, slip stitch join to the first stitch, and turn. And I'm going to drop my purple, grab my main color, hold on to my purple, pull the main color through the loop on my hook, pull down on that purple. Then I'll chain 1 for round 5, single crochet into the first single crochet, push those chains back, pull the skip stitches forward, double crochet into each of the skip stitches 2 rounds down. Single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets, push the chains back, pull the skip stitches forward, double crochet into each of the next 2 skip stitches 2 rounds down. Single crochet into each of the next 2 single crochets, and we're going to continue in that pattern all the way around. Here's my last double crochet of the round. Single crochet into the last stitch of the round. Pull that purple color in so that when I slip stitch join to the first stitch, it's on the inside. And then the last round of our repeat, round 6, chain 1, turn, single crochet into each stitch all the way around, and then slip stitch join. Now it's time to slip stitch join, and I've just completed the last round of this repeat. Then now I'll turn my work, and the repeat will start all over now. Repeating round 3, round 4, round 5, and round 6. Working 3 and 4 in your second color, and 5 and 6 in your main color. Before I get into working my rounds, I'm going to go ahead and weave in my initial tail ends. This is the easiest time to reach them before I work too high, so I'm going to go ahead and address them now. Right now there's only 2 ends here. There's the purple one and then the main color one from when we first started. So I'm going to thread it through my tapestry needle. And I'm going to work vertically here instead of horizontally. I don't want to work back through those chains horizontally because it can restrict the stretch here. And the purse that I'm going to insert, or the lining that I'm going to insert, needs this purse to stretch horizontally. So I'm going to go ahead and weave it vertically. Each time I insert my needle and I take my needle out of the stitches, I'm not going to do it with the whole stitch like this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to insert my needle into the center of the stitch, breaking it in half. Then I'll work under several stitches, and on the way out I will break the stitch in half as well. This is going to help capture my yarn, and then I won't have to worry about it pulling out. I want to pull snug, but not too tight that it bunches. If it does, it's very easy to manipulate the fabric with your fingers. Now I'm going to insert into a nearby stitch, work back through the stitches I just worked. This makes 2 passes. I always work 3 passes. That is my magic number. If you feel comfortable with your end and the security after round 2, go ahead and fasten off. If you don't feel secure enough after 3, work a 4th pass. Whatever is most comfortable to you, that you think your end is secure. That's my 3rd pass. Now I'm going to go ahead and fasten off. I'm going to come up here to this purple. I'm not going to weave this one in on camera, but I would weave it up vertically through several stitches here in the purple, or in whatever your second color is. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I'm going to work several rounds. I don't know exactly how many rounds I'm going to work. I did do an estimation based on measurements. I think I'm going to work 26 rounds total, but I'm going to go ahead and work off camera, and then I will come back on when I reach the height that I want. I've finished my bag with 30 rounds in total. That is 7 repeats here plus the 2 rounds of the foundation, and my bag is now measuring 9 inches wide by 6.5 inches tall. The bag that I'm going to be using as my lining is 9 inches wide by 6 inches tall, so that's perfect. Here are the two ends that I finished with. Since I'm done with both of them, I'm going to go ahead and fasten both off. For the one that I just finished that still has the loop there, I'm just going to pull up on that loop to break it. And then I'm going to insert my hook into that stitch that I slip stitched to from the wrong side to the right side and pull that loop through so it's on the inside on the wrong side. And there's my carry, what it looks like, the floats up on the middle, up on the inside of the bag. You only see it from the wrong side. From the right side you don't see it at all, you don't even see a seam. So I'm going to go ahead and weave those two ends in, and I don't sew my lining in because I just use these bags that I get at Hobby Lobby. I just put them in and they stay in place, and then I change them out. I have several cosmetic bags that I've made that I just changed the lining out, but you can sew it in. The bag might seem a little too small for the lining, but it stretches. You don't want it to be too big and then it has a lot of excess fabric on it. So if it has to stretch a little bit to fit it, it's perfect. You're not going to see through it. It's going to fit perfectly in there. And it's going to stretch upwards too. So if you did have a bag like this and you wanted it to cover a little bit more, you could stretch it upwards and the fabric would easily take that shape, and then you could sew right in through those stitches of the last row through the lining or the bag or however you want to do it. You could also just do it with cotton fabric and a zipper, but I think the easiest way is just to put these bags in there, and I just use it just like this. It's snug, so I don't have to worry about it coming apart. But I have given some of these as gifts, and for the gifts I just take sewing needle and thread and I sew that right on through there. But there is our finished cosmetic bag. You could also use it as a crochet hook bag. That is mostly what I use it for because I am not a makeup person. So I just throw all my crochet hooks and my needles and my scissors. This would also be a really cute gift, and you fill it with some makeup and candy, maybe some gift cards, things like that. Or use it whenever you're traveling. Put your travel size shampoos and mouthwash and things like that in here. It's the perfect size for a lot of different things. You're going to find the free crochet pattern for this at iloveknots.com, also linked in the description below. Thanks so much for watching my video. Please smash that like button and hit subscribe. And I'll catch you in the next video.